What's up, everybody? I want to do another crazy hard hat hair talk with you all. I wanted to address the question of needing a truck to be an electrician, and I guess a journeyman electrician, in my case, in a commercial space. So my quick answer to that is I am someone who started off not in construction and thought I needed a truck and looked into like old E250 like vans and stuff, and I was like, I mean, that's probably the way that I want to go, but then again, I don't want to be driving around a white van, not a good look. So yeah, I like looked into it for a long time, and I was like, as I feel like people who are new to the trade do, they want to do the right thing. They want to invest in the things that are going to pay dividends later, and I just kind of want to give my perspective on how I went. So one thing I would probably recommend is that I've seen some people who have like all the way open, like sort of hatchback style cars, and I do personally feel as if those individuals do benefit from having a big hatch and then basically a flat bed in the back. Now, if you are someone who has kids, you might want to have like a separate vehicle for work, but I don't necessarily think that you need to have a truck. If you are someone who's like a framer who works in like a small residential space, I'd say yes. If you are like a service tech and you are like working on your own, I'd say yeah, you should probably get a van. But and you might like have like an image that would be more respectable if it had the van sort of look, that's the route that people go. They get a van, they have a decal on the side, so it looks more legitimate, I'll say, than you rolling up in your A to B beater car, you know what I mean? But if you are just clocking in and out and you're an apprentice or you're in a journeyman and you're in a commercial space, no, you do not need a truck. And I know that there are a lot of like marketing pushes for individuals to get trucks. There's like a strange masculinity thing associated with it. But I don't know. I feel like there's been so many times when there's been a guy on a job site who has a truck bed that's not weighed down at all, and he's just like shooting gravel out the back of his tires when he's just trying to drive on absolutely nothing. And it's just kind of funny because they're trying to lighten the weight of their truck because gas mileage is already horrendous, and then the thing that they are like, oh, it's all terrain, like they're not even all terrain. I don't know, it's a very unique sort of situation in the United States. Everybody thinks that having like a truck is great, but like the amount of times that I see on the highway that there's like conduit or buckets or just any construction material that you can name just laying all over the highway, I personally do not understand why you need a truck as an electrician. Like, if you are hauling a massive like Chicago like a triple nickel, or if you're like bringing scrap to the yard or something to get like scrap for like a year's work, like maybe but like if you're someone who's, and like if you plan on doing side work a lot, I would still recommend you get a van. I feel like people who get trucks think that, oh, I got a truck and I'm going to be able to do all these things. Then their stuff gets broken into. And my car has gotten broken into before, and all my tools have gotten stolen. But I will say that people aren't really looking for tools inside of like vehicles that aren't trucks. So yes, I have gotten my stuff stolen before, but I do feel like you fly more under the radar. In my case, it was literally, my car is kind of like a fishbowl in terms of my tint, my window tint. I would recommend that you do get a car that has window tint of the most close to illegal level that you can, so that you can hide your belongings and not worry as much. But like, do you need a truck just to drive to work and drive back? No. I have a used 2007 Toyota Prius, and and that has been my A to B car, and it's kind of astonishing the amount of tools that this thing has hauled for me, the fact that it has still been a reliable car to me, and I get a lot of laughs and stuff, but it is a reliable A to B beater car, and I am using it for work, and I get, it's an older model, and it does not have the fuel efficiency that's advertised of 60 miles to the gallon, but that's awesome to get like a very high miles to the gallon, like 45, like 50 miles to the gallon on your vehicle, and just be driving to work. Like, that is pretty amazing, especially when everything that you get pinched or being forced into buying is always being inflated, always having inflated costs to own it, like getting a new vehicle and then having to pay for insurance, or like a new vehicle insurance, or being a guy in general and having to pay higher rates for insurance. Getting an older car and paying lower insurance rates means more money in your pocket. And I have personally seen like 1 or 2 situations as an electrician where I've been like, as someone who works for this person, it would make sense for me to have a truck. And both of those times were times that could have been completely avoided. One of them is we were pulling in some Tesla superchargers, like pulling in the wire for them, and some guy decided to get a setup going, right, where he had a boom lift, and attached to the boom lift was a pulley, and off the pulley he was using instead of getting a tugger from the shop, which we totally had, he wanted to use his new Toyota Tacoma truck to go ahead and like pull the wire off the pulley, and he attached it to his tow hook. Like, totally avoidable, completely avoidable. Did it for multiple days, like probably stressed out his vehicle in ways that he did not need to do. So that was one situation. I have done side jobs before where I've been like, I really wish I had like a bigger bed or something so that I could throw full sticks of conduit, but like they have half sticks of conduit, and for residential work, side work, it's not like you're running like 300-foot racks of pipe. It's probably like from the front side of the house to the back side of the house, like 4 sticks of pipe. Like, you can just get the smaller sticks of pipe. And I take back roads and I just throw that thing out the window of my car. Like I you make stuff happen, and and I personally have not seen a situation where I have needed a truck as someone who's just working for someone else as an electrician. So if you're someone who's considering getting in the trades and you think that you need a truck, I would just like to point out to you that I am driving a 2007 Toyota Prius as a journeyman electrician who's been in the trade for 5 years. And other than the fact that there's, weird machismo, like, I have zero, like, downsides from the vehicle that I use. I honestly have more space in my car than some people do, and they're like more sedan style where they have to pop open the trunk and they only have a limited trunk space. Like, the fact that my car is a hatchback allows for so much mobility in tools, and yeah, it's so if you're thinking about getting a truck and you're like, I need a truck to get in construction, just know that there are people driving old A to B beater cars, and in my case, which is all the different stigma that you can say about it. Like, I drive a fucking Prius to work. It totally works fine, and I'm a journeyman electrician, and so just wanted to point that out there. Like, unless you're running service for yourself and you need a crazy amount of parts bins, like and that's something that you can considering doing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking if you're a person who's going to work every day, clocking in and clocking out, and then going home, like, you do not need a truck. You don't. And even then, people just end up converting their trucks into vans with a camper in the back. So, if anything, just consider getting an old Econoline van or something that you can do maintenance on, and that's my personal opinion. But the things are gas guzzlers, and if you're just driving A to B, you're just trying to get to work and back, like, just use like an older vehicle that has decent gas mileage. That's my opinion to you. And get a hatchback because you can fit more tools. So that's my opinion on do you need a truck as an electrician.